Hello, everyone. Welcome to Weekend Conversations. Today, I'm going to discuss an interesting topic, which I think my friends in Delhi NCR, Bangalore, and other such cities will very much reflect with, connect with. And this is about, uh, you know, scarcity of house helps, unavailability of house helps uh, while the Bengal elections were on. Uh, we know that a lot of house helps. What I can understand now is because looking at the kind of availability, maybe more than 95% of house helps are from the state, at least in Gurgaon, and that's where it has resulted in uh, absolute unavailability. Now, here are a couple of dimensions to this you know event. First, let's talk about the platforms like Pronto, Snabbit, and urban companies InstaHealth. Now, I feel this was their moment of trust. This was their moment of truth. This was their opportunity to build uh, a very high degree of customer satisfaction, which unfortunately they did. They failed. I really don't understand what were the data analysis teams doing. They have all the data. They could have anticipated that this situation is going to happen. So they could have looked for maybe some alternatives, or they could have made it clear rather than leading to frustrations among uh, people who were trying to hook onto these platforms and trying to schedule house help, which I would say, out of personal experience, I think after 20-30 attempts, I would get one such slot to book, and that too not of my preference. So it really didn't work that well, and these platforms have really um, you know uh, not been able to deliver the value which they had promised of. So that's one side of the story. But what is also happening in parallel, and I'm seeing this in happening in my social circles. So there are people who have already automated. Actually, what you can do is you can probably spend a lakh or 1.5 lakh kind of rupees, and you can automate by having 3 4 gadgets, which could be, say, a more robo cleaner, a dishwasher, or maybe these insta chef kind of gadgets, and a lot of dependence on house helps gets redundant. And that's what a lot of people in my social circles have already done, and they have started realizing that yes, probably they don't need house helps now, or even if they need, they will need them very occasionally, maybe once in a week, once in a fortnight kind of thing, when they want maybe some extra efforts in terms of cleaning the house or something like that. So what will it result in? Now, my understanding, my reading is that this event is not a good sign for platforms like Pronto, Snabbit, and of course, urban companies' InstaHealth feature. Why so? Now, understand, the segment which one faced this issue. Second, looked for alternatives like going for home automation, is the one who are open to automation. Second, who have money to spend on it. Third, who have definitely the need because of their fast lifestyle. They are busy with their corporate life, or otherwise, so they do need this kind of extra support. um, and they are now open to this lifestyle where they want to automate things. So, and at the same time, this is the segment which ideally, all these platforms like Pronto, Snappit, and others, they would want to target with their services, because they know that these are the people who are open to digital platforms. They use Blinkit for quick commerce. They use Amazon and other platforms. This is the cohort which is very much open to using digital platforms for services, products. Now, now imagine this cohort shifting to automation, going for automation, bringing in these gadgets at home, and not requiring any kind of house help, or substantially the need gets eliminated. So this is going to definitely affect the business prospects of these platforms like Snabbit, Pronto, and of course the InstaHealth of Urban Company, where the same target group will increasingly move on to automation and reduce their need for house help. So that's one side. Now, some might argue that, hey, we had a similar situation during COVID also. It did not happen. Once, things went back to normal, we started, utilizing the services of house helps. Yes, agreed. But that was a different scenario. We were all at home. There was, whatever said and done, there was, time with us. We were not following a very structured, day. We were not kind of chasing after the time. Nowadays, things are different. We are in our routine. We want things to be on time. We have to follow a schedule every day, and we can't miss any, moment out there. So that's where automation, it makes much more sense now than COVID days. And honestly, those days the adoption awareness wasn't that much, though a lot of these robo cleaners got sold at that time also. I'm sure we are going to see this impact, and very soon maybe platforms like Amazon, Flipkart will talk more about it, that how they have seen sales increasing for these gadgets during this period. So not a good sign I see for platforms like these. And maybe we might finally see home automation really, really taking up, at least in metros to begin with. That's what I have to share in today's weekend conversation. As usual, would love to have conversation with you, would love to have discussion with you. What are your thoughts on this trend? And let's take the conversation forward. I'll be back with you next week. Till then, enjoy your time.